What's going on, fam? How is everybody doing? Woo! My goodness. My goodness. Coming in hot. Woo! Woo! I did a show on Monday, but I tell you, boy, it's hard to get back into the groove of things. How is everybody doing? My goodness. How y'all doing? Y'all been all right? Everybody hanging in? All right, all right, all right. Okay. Whew. Listen, I haven't been on YouTube since the summit. So I want to thank everybody who came. Like if you weren't there, you really missed out on something, but we'll see you next time. We ain't holding no kind of grudge. We see you next time, you family, and we know everybody family can't make it to the reunion every time. So, but I just wanted to absolutely thank everybody who came out, because I haven't had a chance to do that on YouTube yet. Also, we made an announcement. Those of you all who caught the live stream, I think the live stream is still up for purchase. So if you caught the live stream, if you were there, that we announced our framework for reparations that we're going to build a bill around. We've all criticized. It's one thing to criticize and say, oh my God, HR 40 isn't this and this isn't that and this is what we got to do. And it's another thing to actually decide that you're going to do something about it and actually write that and do that. And we have put together, if you were there, you saw it. If you didn't, then you didn't see it. But listen, I want to make sure that everybody knows. And mods, please put it in the chat. Please drop the link in the chat. If you're in there, please drop this link in there. Justice for Generations. Support the ADOS Advocacy Foundation's fight for reparations. Your donations will be used to fund the creation of a comprehensive reparations bill. Thank you for your support. We're at 20K. If we don't get a 75, we might as well not even talk to the people that we need to talk to get this done. So please make sure that you donate. Mods, please drop that link in there for people to donate to the Justice for Generations Fund. We got eligibility in there. We got protections in there. We got the amount in there. We have everything that everybody's been asking for, and that's what we need in the bill. So if you want to say, hey, we don't need no study, well, this is the way to do it. If you think we need to get down to the nitty and the gritty, this is the way to do that. This is the path for that. And I want to remind everybody that we've done everything that we said we were going to do. Like our first conference was Claim the Name. We have been working on that with the OMB. We trained over 1,000 people, and we're still working on that. Our second conference was Rise and Organize. We have chapters across the country now. We did that. This last summit, the Reparations Summit, the theme for that was the blueprint, and the framework is the blueprint. So in terms of our track record, in terms of integrity, it's 21 now. I use the same one from yesterday. So I use the same frame. Ain't that lazy? Just use the same frame from yesterday. So please, we want to raise money to do something. To do what we talk about. We don't want to just be talking. And we have our track record is bar none, ladies and gentlemen. So just so we're on the same page. Now, let me get to what we're talking about, because I missed so much, you understand? And let me just say, I missed so much that was going on with Kamala, but I remember what we said. And now everything this is 2019. I just want to make sure everybody's aware. In 2019, we told Kamala Harris, this is not about whether or not you're black enough. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about whether or not you have policies for ADOS. That's what we said. We said it then. That's what we said. We were clear. This is about policies. This is not about anything else. We made that clear in 2019. Somehow, it seems everything I've been seeing, I missed so many news articles and everything, but somehow they didn't get the memo. Somehow people, when we started saying, hey, she's not black, people said, in terms of black American, not in terms of just black. I'm not talking about that. We're talking about ADOS. When we started saying that, and the way people usually understand black American as coming from chattel slavery in America. When we started having that conversation, people said, oh my God, you're just talking about her. You're saying she's not black. No, we're telling her she has to run on policies. Listen, I don't know who doesn't understand this, but we have had, except for one, we have had all white presidents. we will vote for somebody who is not the same as us. We will do that, and we have done that. What we were saying to her was, listen, we have learned from Obama. We're not going to do what we did with Obama. Some people are going around and saying, well, you all did this with Obama. Why aren't you doing it with Kamala? This must be sexism. This must be misogynoir. No, we learned a lesson. A lesson that I have been trying to teach for a very long time, that we have to follow an agenda. We don't have to follow a person. We don't have to follow an identity. We're following an agenda. That's what we were saying. And listen, there were clues. There were clues that she was having problems and nobody fixed the campaign. See, we see this up on the internet, child. Kamala Harris, I grew up in a black church. I grew up attending 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California. Reverend Solomon Kinlock, that's church. Harris, my pastor is Amos C. Brown of 3rd Baptist Church. Charlemagne, God is good. Harris, all the time. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all why y'all are having problems, Miss Harris. You're having problems because we lived through Obama. Obama's pastor was Jeremiah Wright. Black liberation theology. He said, God damn America. He said that. Obama sat there. He listened to that. If you were to judge that man by his pastor, you would have thought Obama was about everything we was about. I'm not judging you by your pastor. Stop trying to get this woman to prove that she's black or she's ADOS or whatever, or that she's tied into the culture. We're not buying that anymore. You can be tied into the culture and do like Obama do and release a bunch of rap songs, hip hop songs, everything, and then still hate us. Or still be indifferent toward us, or still feel post-racial, or still feel like you don't owe us nothing, or still feel like one wave lifts all ships or whatever. We have made a decision. Now, some people who have made a decision have decided to go one way. Other people have gone third party, but we have said that we are no longer beholden to the Democratic Party. I said years ago, we are not your mule. And I hate that I said that because now everybody running around, we're not your mule, we're not your mule. Make up your own little catchphrase. It ain't that hard. God, you can't even come. But anyway, I digress. There were clues, Kamala Harris, in your campaign. There were clues that this sort of, you can't do what Obama did because Obama happened and we learned. Some of us were teachers during that time. But Kamala, you can't do what Obama did. You can't go up there and sing us a song. You singing Al Green? Obama, what's the little net flying? Obama decided he was going to be daddy in chief. Y'all saw him. He was going to be your father in chief, not your president. He was going to go in front of those Morehouse men and berate them on their day. And I wrote about that then. I wrote about it when I was back working with Boyce. And I said, he's berating these young men on a day they deserve congratulations. If anybody deserves congratulations to graduate from Morehouse as a ADOS man, you deserve it. Instead of telling you congratulations and I'm going to have policy for you, that man got up there and said, don't make excuses. He's always been anti-ADOS. And because he used that play, and some of us were teaching, hey, that's a con, that's a play. Some of us were saying that way back then in 2009, 2010. This group has learned we're not falling for that anymore. I don't even know why anybody has Kamala talking about her church. We already know what she's not. And it don't even matter. Listen, let me tell you something. You could be an ADOS candidate at this point. I want to see your agenda. Yes, you can say I come from y'all and we come from the same place and we'll appreciate that. But that still should not override your agenda. I want to hear about what she wants to do. There have always been clues that this was going to go this way. So those of you all who are doing all the work in the world online and telling us, oh my God, I can't believe you all doing it. We gave you clues. You got to be smart enough to come in out the rain. We gave you all the clues in the world that this was not going to work this time around. We gave you all the clues. Y'all got Charlemagne running around looking like a fool. He ain't read a book in forever. Why is this thing giving me the wrong thing? Camera. Hold on a second, y'all. Ooh. It's giving me the wrong shot. I tell you, the day has just been, let me tell you, the day with the cameras has been a time. First the thing, y'all don't know what I went through. First the thing, I did an update and the thing wouldn't work. It was all kind of stuff. I was running around here. Then I turned it on and it was a hot mic. Oh, I'm so lucky I stopped cussing. As much as I used to, boy. Because y'all would have got an earful, but I stopped that. I'm trying to give it up. But here's one thing, right? Here is one thing on differences, and this is how you know you have a problem. I missed this because this was during the summit, so I missed it. There was so much going on, ladies and gentlemen. It was something to behold. It's Kamala Harris. On differences with Biden, Harris says, not a thing comes to mind. Now, this was while let me just show you what she said, fam. Let me hope this camera is right this time. Okay, Harris made the comment during an interview on The View when asked if she would have done something differently than Biden during his presidency. There is not a thing that comes to mind, and I've been part of most of the decisions that have had an impact, Harris said, going on to tout their accomplishments together. Listen, let me tell y'all something. This is the moment that you wait for as a candidate, because you got to support the person that you with, but you wait for somebody to say, hey, how would you be different? That gives you your time to shine. Hey, that gives you your time to talk about, hey, whatever it is, whatever highlights your agenda. I'm a woman in this one. She might say woman of color, whatever she might say. That gives you your time to talk about everything you've been wanting to talk about, everything that you are, everything that made you want to run. What is your motivation? What are your internal drivers? This is your moment to give us that. And she said, nothing comes to mind. Let me tell you one thing. Nobody runs for president just to be a continuation of the person that they ran with. You are not a continuation of this old white man, Kamala. And if you are, then you have no inside. That's not who you are. And if you are, we have a problem. Why are you running? Because you get with the president to be the vice president so that one day you can be the president. All these people are ambitious. So what do you want to do when you get there? Nothing comes to mind. There are clues that this is not our fault or any, this is your fault as a candidate. Who are you? What is your agenda? This identity stuff, I'm just brown, black, woman of color, that's not going to work. What do you stand for and what do you stand on? This was her opportunity to prove that to everybody. And she said, nothing comes to mind. And then when something finally came to mind, she said, oh, I know the difference. I'm going to have a Republican in there. You don't even know how to read the moment. This ain't the moment. The Republican Party is over here and they have gone further to the right than they normally do. You know that. And the Democratic Party, these two parties despise each other more than they ever did. And that's your thing. I'm going to have, because that's the same dumb stuff Obama said. He was reading that Doris Kearns Goodwin book, The Team of Rivals by Abraham Lincoln. He said, I'm going to be bipartisan. And then he tried to be bipartisan and then Republicans beat the hell out of him. So how in the world do you come through here and do the same thing and try to run the same game? I don't get it. Somebody got to tell me, because I don't understand what's happening. But let's move on. Let's continue, shall we? They got the same artists. I just want to show y'all that they're trying to run the same play. They are trying to run the same play, but this play does not work anymore. And I want to tell you all, I'll be doing an election night special on election night, fam. I will be here. But this is not our fault. This is, people say, well, what about Trump? Listen, this election, you should be able to beat Trump on the merits. Like, this is you versus you. That's why I put up Kamala versus Kamala. This is you versus you. You should be able, you talk about, if you want to tell me all the awful things about Trump, then I'm going to say, okay, I agree. I agree with a lot of that. Why can't you beat him then? It's like somebody coming on the track field and saying this person is slow, they don't work out, and you get up there and you race them and you lose. How? How is this? Have y'all seen how close this race is? Oh, I had a cold. Now, have y'all seen how close this is? See, because a lot of people who are voting for Trump have made their decision already. It is cemented. How though? I'm not talking, even when you get off the people who are just to the right and have decided that they're going to disrupt the Republican Party, it seems like in order to peel some of those folks off, you might have to disrupt the Democratic Party, but you're not that kind of candidate. But that's the kind of candidate that this moment demands. That's the only way you're going to beat Trump, it seems like. Now, you might pull it off. I don't know. But it's going to be close. If I had to put money on it, Kamala right now, I wouldn't bet on you. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to bet on just a continuation of the person that we call Jim Crow Joe. You don't even know what you're going to do different. Who are you as a human in the world? Now I want to show you something. We're looking at the most recent unemployment numbers, right? Right. So what I want to kind of bring home is the black unemployment. This is based on the most recent data on unemployment. And I want to talk about our expectations, because there seemed to have been an expectation that we were going to do the same thing we have always done. We've always had higher unemployment. The black unemployment rate remains higher than the overall unemployment rate. For comparison, white workers 3.6%, Hispanics 5.1%, Asians 4.1%. It's always been this way for us, but everybody assumed that we were never going to do anything about it. We were never going to take any action on our own behalf. Do you realize what that means for people to assume you're not going to take any action for you? Yeah, that's crazy, right? Long-term trends. No significant reduction observed in black unemployment despite economic growth in sectors like construction, healthcare, and food services. And that's what people are talking about when they talk about immigration. They're talking about, hey, there was growth, there was economic growth, it just didn't benefit us. But people don't think we can see it, or we have sense enough to understand what's going on. No, you don't understand. That's not what's happening, Yvette. You just saying some stuff. No, I'm not. The trends, when the economy recovers and everything, and we still don't benefit, and we see it. We're not crazy. We see what's happening. Nobody's crazy. Nobody's xenophobic. We see you. Let's keep going. And it's all from this. It's all from this. So if you want to go check it out yourself, please go check it out. Please go check it out here. I think it was out on the 4th or something like that. Again, I missed it when it came out, when the numbers came out. But I want to show y'all one other thing before I get to Kamala Harris, because I want to show y'all a little experiment I did. So y'all remember this study, Wealth of Two Nations, the U.S. Racial Wealth Gap, 1860 to 2020. Y'all remember this, right? Now, I want to remind y'all what Kamala came out with. She came out with mentorship, some loans, cryptocurrency, you all know what her agenda. I talked about it we did a 2.5-hour show on Monday on Patreon. I talked about her agenda and all that stuff, right? Not much meat to that bone. Most of it was her general agenda. She just said, well, it's going to be good for black people too. Okay. But I want to show you an experiment that I did. I took this Wealth of Two Nations, the U.S. Racial Wealth Gap, 1860-2020. I took this and put it into ChatGPT. And I said, ChatGPT, can you, because I said, can you little AI thing, can you read this report? And I want you to tell me what the report is about. And I want you to give me serious answers for the black community in terms of how we fix this. This is artificial intelligence. I want to show you what AI came up with. Because we're talking about, well, Kamala, she didn't have time. And wait a minute. It told me, first of all, the implications for black poverty and poverty, what the problems were, increased vulnerability. This is AI. The racial wealth gap exacerbates poverty. Limiting upward mobility for black families, slow convergence risk. Without intervention, the wealth gap could take centuries to close. This is AI telling me the truth. Policy focus shift needed. Capital markets disproportionately benefit white households, worsening inequality over time. Now I say, well, ChatGPT, tell me what policy proposals we need. Can I tell you something? Can I tell y'all something? ChatGPT didn't tell me nothing about mentorship or cryptocurrency. I said, give me some serious policy proposal. I didn't give it no kind of, you got to make it transform. No, tell me what fixes this. It said the first thing, direct wealth redistribution. Implement reparations to close the wealth gap and redress historical injustices. A robot is giving me better policy proposals than the church, than the lady who talking about her black church. Amen. Number 2, affordable homeownership. Provide targeted support for black homeowners to reduce housing debt burdens. Reparations was number 1. Financial market inclusion. Expand access to equity investments and financial literacy programs for black households. I don't like the literacy yet, but but let me just say, this is what they said. I'm just that go to show you that because I don't do the literacy yet, but that goes to show you I didn't do nothing to it. I didn't give it no real crazy prompts. Debt forgiveness initiative. It was some of that in Kamala stuff, wasn't it? Giving us loans and maybe forgiving them later. Well, maybe she gets 1 point for that. Eliminate educational and predatory loan burdens disproportionately affecting black families. Progressive taxation investment. Tax capital gains heavily at the top and reinvest wealth building initiatives for marginalized communities. You see, I didn't do that because they said marginalized. That was ChatGPT. I told it black and it went marginalized. You see what it did? It did it to me too. It went people of color on me. ChatGPT went people of color, marginalized community, disadvantaged. That goes to show I didn't mess with it. But it still sounded a little bit better than what we've been hearing from Kamala's camp. Okay, policy proposals addressing the racial wealth gap on behalf of American descendants of slavery. Reparations payments implement direct reparations to descendants of enslaved people, reflecting generational wealth and historical harms. Trust funds for black families establish funds to provide every eligible family with capital to invest in housing, education, entrepreneurship. Debt forgiveness program, erase burdensome educational and medical debt that disproportionately affect black Americans. See, they got some class stuff in there too, but it still sounds better than what I heard coming from her. Somebody said ChatGPT for president. I'm just saying. Equitable financial access and investment programs, access to equity markets, develop programs encouraging black participation in high return investments like stocks and business equity. That's post reparations though. Remember, reparations was the first thing. Financial, this is the same one, I think. Provide zero interest loans for black-owned entrepreneurs to foster entrepreneurship. Well, after we get money, we can do a lot. Land restoration programs, return land unjustly taken from black families and provide new land ownership opportunities. ChatGPT on fire over here. Equitable taxation properties, reform property taxes to reduce the impact of overassessment in predominantly black communities. What else we got? Education and employment equity programs, free and subsidized higher education for us. Yep. Targeted employment opportunities. All that. Anti-discrimination in lending, progressive taxation on capital gains, social safety net expansion. Now, if I had tweaked this, if I had played around more and said just all the proposals are specific to the ADOS community, blah, 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 I could have gotten way more than this. I didn't want to be that biased with it. Right? I didn't want to set this thing up and be like, Yvette, you just told that thing. You might as well have wrote that yourself. No, I just wanted to put in a general question and come out and see what the little machine told me. That's all. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. The machine, I don't feel like the machine did a bad job. Given what I gave it. Right? I just gave it that report. Yeah, tweak that prompt. All you gotta do is go in there and tweak the prompt. You'll get a bunch of other stuff. Then you can go in there and say, hey, I want to focus on wealth. You'll get some other stuff. What I'm telling you, fam, before we go on too far, what I'm telling you though, is the ChatGPT had a better black agenda than Kamala Harris. How? 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 How is that possible? I don't know why people kept talking. Yvette, she just got in the race. I don't know what you expect. She could have went in there, but you know why they won't do it. You know why they won't do it. When we talk about reparations, because it's going to make white folk mad, and it's going to make some racist Hispanics mad. It's going to make a lot of people mad. And because y'all just robbed the grocery stores and the CVSs, and I don't know why y'all think y'all deserve anything. And it's going to make all of them mad. They go around calling us monkeys and stuff all the way around the interwebs. Listen, but we're not going to be able to win the white vote if we do that. Not my problem. Not my problem. Well, we got to try to win working class white folk. You mean racist folks who don't believe in justice? It's not my problem if you can't win them. I'm telling you what we need. Even ChatGPT said, regardless of the other stuff it said that I may not agree with, the first thing was reparations. And you telling me you can't talk about the thing that fixes me because you still got these neo-Confederates around here who don't want to hear about it. Well, that's not my problem. How you deal with them, because you've left them, that you should have brought them to heel after the Civil War. I don't know how you deal with these people that you never decided to do nothing about. I will tell you one thing, no, that is your problem, not mine. That is your problem, not mine. That's like when I go to the store and they tell me, well, we ain't got no oranges because the distribution and the trucks. And, hey. Hey, I don't need to hear all that. It's not my job to hear all your problems and why the oranges didn't come in on time. All I can say is I'm going to go down the street and get me some oranges. I'm going to go buy somewhere else. Because it's for sale, whether you're talking about over here, third party, whatever. I'm not buying here. We've been buying here for a long time, and the food been spoiled, and y'all been telling us, well, at least it's food. It keep you alive, even if it don't taste good. You've been feeding everybody else all kind of bounties and fresh food and snacks and breakfast and lunch and dinner, and we got to come talk to you because we losing you. Well, you're losing us too. Now what? Ain't nobody got to have no shame about nothing you talking about. Ain't nobody ashamed of nothing you... you shouldn't be that way. Let me get back to where I was. I don't know why you that way and why y'all act that way. ChatGPT was getting down. Affordable home ownership and all that. They was they was getting down. Permanent commission. Look, they said they had racial wealth audits, require public and private institutions to conduct audits on their contributions to the racial wealth disparities. What? Permanent Commission on Reparative Justice established a federal body responsible for monitoring reparations and policies and their outcomes. What? ChatGPT. You better preach. Data transparency. Collect and publish wealth data disaggregated by race. We got to disaggregate, not just by race. We got to do to track progress towards closing the racial wealth gap. I'm going to tweak that prompt. Now, let me just go in here for a second. I'm not going to be here too long, fam. I just had to holler for a little while. I haven't been on here to holler with y'all for a minute. I had to holler for a little while. Everybody done woke up. Enough. Because you don't need everybody to wake up. What I told y'all, you just need a critical mass. You don't need everybody to wake up. Everybody ain't got to be woke and looking alive. You don't need all that. No. Kamala, what does forward mean? Like your campaign, Obama was change we can't believe in. He lied, but change means that we're going in a different direction. We didn't, but okay, he lied. What does forward mean? I don't see anything about you that means anything. Listen, Trump, I'm not a Trump supporter. I've said that. That's no shade to anybody who is. I'm not. But what I will say is that everybody knows what they getting with that man. Like they know what you're gonna get with Trump. He's not lying. He's gonna get out in front of the thing and say, I'm gonna tell you what. People really don't know what you stand for. I don't know what forward means. Forward means I'm walking. Like if I tell you, if you call me and you say, Yvette, what you up to? What you doing? And I say, forward. What does that mean to you? If I say, if you ask me, where am I going? If I'm in the car and I pick the phone, hey, what? And you say, where you going? And I say, forward. What does that mean? Does that mean anything to you? It don't mean nothing to me. I'm trying to figure out what that means. If somebody says forward, We don't know what you want to do. It feels like you're a placeholder. And every time you get the opportunity to go in a certain direction, you pivot to the right. And I have a theory that Kamala and Barack are part of a managerial class of politicians who don't have any vision anyway. They're here to manage things and not provide any kind of vision. And to the extent that Kamala does have some vision, I think she's conservative. I think she has not been allowed because she's in California, and then she's the party has went a little bit to the left. She has not allowed to be who she wants to be. She would be better off as Bill Clinton when he ran. But let's get to this article real quick, because they're catching up. As black voters hesitate on Harris, Democrats race to win them over. With a frenzy of activity, the vice president and her allies are trying to strengthen her support with black voters whose growing alienation. Whose growing alienation the party's leader had not confronted directly until now. There were clues. Y'all tried to accuse us of misinformation, but there were clues. There were clues. Clues, baby doll, clues. Let me tell you. In Atlanta, a group of black entertainers and elected officials took the stage at the brewery to urge a crowd of black men to support Vice President Kamala Harris. I should have went. I probably would have got jumped, though, child. In Milwaukee, dozens of volunteers fanned out across black neighborhoods to encourage sometimes skeptical residents to vote. And in a blitz of national media interviews and campaign ads, Ms. Harris herself made her case to black voters. Let me just say one thing. You got to vote. Even if I don't care if you vote third party. I don't care if you vote Democrat, Republican, or don't vote the top of the ticket at all. You got to vote, because let me tell you what they do. They track whether or not you vote. What do you mean, Yvette? They're going to track how many of us come out to vote. And if we come out, but we don't vote for them, they're still going to say, we have these many voters, we got to go chase, right? If you don't vote at all, then they're going to say, these people don't come out. We got to go find the white voters. We got to go find Latino voters. You want people to chase you. So all those people who say, no tangible, no vote, we staying home. They're dumb. Don't follow dumb people. Let that be a motto. You have to play smart politics. You don't have to vote for Kamala. You don't have to vote for Trump. You don't have to vote for whatever. You can do what you want to do, but you have got to show up. I have always said this. There's way more on the ballot. You be complaining about the police and the sheriff is on your ballot. You be complaining about they shouldn't have gave him that kind of time. That's racist. And the judge is on your ballot. You be complaining about the taxes, and that was on your ballot. Show up, research before you go. Show up. You don't want to be like me. I was there once, not too long ago. I have researched everything except this one thing. It's like an excise tax. I'm in the voting booth trying to pull out my phone over there. Look. Why you over here looking at me? Don't bother me, little old lady. Like, I'm trying to figure something out over here. We got Carnell West, who shout out to him at the ADOS conference. Some people, I saw somebody put Stein in there, but like, listen, you have choices. Stop acting like you don't have choices. You probably have more third party choices this time around you'd had in a long time. But let me keep going. I just want to make that clear. Don't stay home and feel like you did something. Don't be who Obama always talk about. Obama always talking about Pookie on the sofa. Pookie on the sofa. That's the only thing he knows to talk about. ADOS means to talk about Pookie on the sofa. In his mind, y'all always on the sofa. Please don't be on the sofa. Don't prove his little dumb racist stereotype right. You got a whole bunch of stuff. This election year, it'd be a whole bunch of stuff on there. The flood of recent door knocking, ads, rallies, and celebrity-studded outreach events across battleground states reflects Democrats' growing alarm about their weakening support among black voters. A years-long drift that the party's leaders have not confronted so directly and with the stakes so high until now. Yeah. It's a real big confrontation, ain't it? Hunting ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Huh? What? What was it? Hunting ain't no fun. Yeah, you got to confront that. The thing we just go along like dutiful soldiers. We're not soldiers, we're voters. We're not headed into war for nobody. We're voters, and we have a right. We have every right to say, hey, this is what we want, and this is what we don't want. And you can't say, well, where you going to go? Away from here. Away from here. We don't have to do this no more. We're not going to just go where you go and chase all the white voters, go chase all the Hispanic, go chase all the Asians, but then just look at us like, what y'all doing? Why y'all not out here voting for us? No, ain't nobody doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. Pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. Hunting ain't no fun. Rabbit got the gun. Now let me go to this next part. It says, a New York Times CNN poll last week found that Miss Harris was underperforming President Biden's support with black voters in 2020 by roughly 10 percentage points. Ooh, she's doing worse than Jim Crow Joe. Ooh, they had no idea. How in the world every time we thought we had a cheat code with Obama. We just get her in there and she look like them and she can and they go, no, we know ADOS changed all that. No, we're not doing that no more. Ain't nobody doing that no more. 10 percentage point, and by 15 points among black men, a drop off. Now understand something. She's underperforming amongst all. It says black voters, not just black men. Black men just more. She's underperforming amongst all black voters. Don't nobody talk about the women. She's underperforming with all of us. She's underperforming with all of us. It's not just the men. What they wanted to do is just make the men into the scapegoat. But no, you're underperforming with everybody. This whole community you're underperforming with. You haven't offered us anything. Nobody know about no mentorship. I don't know about no cryptocurrency. You ain't giving nobody else that. A little bit of loan, whatever. The poll found that former President Donald J. Trump was making inroads with 15% of black voters saying they would back him. Some of that is people who are one-issue voters who just don't favor immigration. That's their one issue. Some of those voters are protest voters who are just tired of being taken for granted by the Democratic Party. And you have to take all of those voters seriously. You can't come out like Obama did and say, you lucky Michelle ain't here. What Michelle gonna do? What Michelle gonna do? That's not nobody's mama in here. What you gonna do, Obama? What you gonna do? Y'all gotta get out. Y'all gotta, you somebody who understands your life and where you. She don't understand our life. What are you talking about? How many of y'all put your hand up if you had a scientist for a mama and a professor for a daddy, and you spent part of your life in Canada? You was in a Westmount, which is a wealth neighborhood. Put one in the chat if that's your life. If that's part of your life. There is one aspect, it looks like, of Kamala Harris's life that intersects with an experience of our life, which is her HBCU experience. That's not the entirety of life. Y'all got to just stop talking about Howard University. And it don't matter nowhere. It don't matter no way what you understand. It matters what you gonna do. Where was Joe Manchin from? Wasn't he from? What was he from? West Virginia or something? Talking about coal mine, all this stuff. I'm sure he understands some stuff, but he was always in between the Republicans and Democrats. Just because somebody understands something anyway don't mean nothing. But she don't understand us. She's not your sister, your mama, none of these people. She don't understand your life. Stop lying to us. See, and I said this, and I'm not going to get into it, but I said this the other day. I said what Obama should have did. And this is what all politicians have to do for us. Let me give y'all the cheat code of how y'all deal with us since y'all so lost. You put together a real agenda with real policymakers. There are real policymakers out there who have been writing about how to get resources into our community. There are real people who write about policies. All different kinds of policies, environmental, racism, everything. We have a lot of it up on adosfoundation.org. But there are people whose expertise is these housing discrimination, all of that. That's their expertise, right? You really have to meet with some of these people, and you have to care about that, and you have to incorporate a lot of what they say into your policy proposals. Then when Obama gets on that stage, Obama has to say, listen, let me tell you, ADOS men, let me tell you what this woman is going to do for you. Let me tell you how she's going to improve your life in the first administration, Let me tell you what she's going to do for you in the first 100 days. You have to have that conversation. You have to have it with us. You cannot shame us into doing anything. We don't owe you nothing, Obama. We don't owe Kamala nothing. We don't owe none of y'all nothing. You decided to run for office. And you have to give us an exchange for our vote. That's it. The end. That's the end of the book. Put a period on it. The days of you coming into a room and telling us to take our bedroom shoes off and all that stuff and run. I told y'all when he said that, you should have ran him off the stage. I'd have tackled Obama if he told me to take my bedroom shoes off. You was under a pineapple tree or a coconut tree in Hawaii when people was fighting and doing all that kind of stuff. You ain't never had a running shoe on. Who are you to tell? Listen, I may have all kind of differences with people at the CBC, but he don't get to tell them to take their bedroom shoes off. All these people, listen, these people, it feels like to me that these people are on the road to Martha's Vineyard, and they do not care about us. Obama is not doing what Jimmy Carter did after Jimmy Carter he was building houses. He's not even doing what Bush did. Bush just went away and decided he was gonna paint horses and stuff and whatever. But like, you're not doing anything. You're making Netflix documentaries and stuff and living a life out there in Martha's Vineyard. You don't care about us. This was a stepping stone for you. It was part of a dream for yourself. It was unearned. And Kamala wants the same thing for herself. We know that we are a stepping stone for you, but if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to do something for us. We're not just gonna let you ride off the Martha's Vineyard and tell us about your basketball documentary and about this movie you got coming. Who cares? We're just so tired of being used. And we're not gonna do it, and we don't owe you nothing. We don't work for you. You're not our boss, you're not our manager, you're not our daddy, you're not our mama. We don't owe you nothing. So let me go on to this really quick, because this was interesting. This was the part of the article that got me. They know what we're doing, y'all. They know what we're doing. Interviews with more than 36 Black voters, strategists, and elected officials offered a complicated picture of a politically powerful group of Americans whose waning devotion to the Democratic Party stems partly from feeling that their decades of loyalty has delivered little return. The party now finds itself in the unfamiliar position of needing to treat Black Americans as voters who must be persuaded to support them rather than unflinching supporters who will back liberal candidates without a second thought. Oh! We always should have been that way, though. That always should have been us. We never should have been unflinchingly backing these people without a second thought. We always should have been, hey, what are you going to do for this? You got to persuade us. What are you going to do for us? We are late. We are late to disaggregation. We are late to seeing ourselves as a distinct group. We are late to everything that is going to make our lives better. But everybody better catch up. Everybody better catch up. Anybody got time? Anybody got time to be playing around? We ain't got time. Anybody got no time for that? We have a right to say, hey, how long we been with y'all? You would say in any other relationship, hey, how long we been married? How long we been boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, boy? How long we been together as partners? You would say that to somebody. What am I getting? Just promises. You will have a whole fight. Y'all will be outside in the grass. The neighbors be done call 911. They fighting again. It's domestic. I don't know. I'm in the house. I ain't going out there. They fighting again. Ooh, they might ought to break up. The neighbor be telling all your business because you would understand. I've been here and there's no exchange. It's just promises. That's what we've been getting. But we ain't never went outside to fight in the grass. Now we fighting in the grass. They don't know what to do. Oh, the Negroes is riled up and the gatekeepers ain't working. Roland Martin just running around calling everybody stupid and that's not working. Calling everybody an idiot. Called Dr. Tommy Curry. He said some kind of insulting thing. And I retweeted what Dr. Curry said about it. Like, what is this crazy man doing? Whole bunch of little arrogant, little boule, whatever. Well, I'm not boule. I talk to more regular people. But do you take their concerns seriously? Or do you talk down to them? That's over with too. This era where you just talk down to everybody. You're the only person that read a book. You're the only person that graduated from somewhere. Child, shut up. You're going to get shut up. Listen, it's a lot of people about to get shut up because the gatekeepers is over with. It's a lot of people about to get shut up. It's over with for y'all. Y'all was supposed to pull Kamala through this. Y'all was supposed to pull her through this. Now you got people out here telling people voting is an exchange, not a gift. You were supposed to pull her through this. Young black men in particular say they feel disillusioned by the political system and do not see how Ms. Harris's policies could help them. Their apathy and frustration with Democrats have provided an opening for Trump. Ms. Harris has just a few weeks left to persuade hesitant black voters that she is the candidate who can bring change. So she done said herself she ain't bringing no change. There was nothing in what she gave us that said she's finna bring any kind of change. I don't know what everybody talking about. She ain't bringing no change. She ain't even say that. She ain't promised that. Bringing some change. She's not, But this should have happened years ago. Where Al Sharpton at? Let me just say this, fam. Let me just say this. I'm about to get out. Let me say this, though. This proves we were right. You know, people tried to talk about us like a dog. Not even, people love dogs. I love dogs. It wasn't even like that. Just talk, oh, y'all. No, we're trying to tell y'all this is about policy. Y'all still thought it was going to be about just some kind of race. And then when we said, you can't even make it about race because she's not us. Oh, my God. I can't believe y'all. Man, stop. Stop playing these games. Stop playing these games. We have let people know, and we are letting people know that we've had enough. Regardless of which way we going. Yeah, forward change. Forward. It sounds like military. Forward march. What that mean? Where we going? If somebody tells you to march to the military, somebody still got to tell you which way you going. Like, you just can't be like, at a certain point, you got to be like, hey, sergeant, like, platoon leader, company commander, where we going? We just marching? Anyway, fam, listen, I'm gonna go to the phones, but I think everybody should really feel vindicated because what you just heard the Democratic Party say in that New York Times article is we got to figure something out because they're not going for the usual thing where they're just committed to us regardless of whether we're committed to them. They are saying that we are not doing that anymore. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a sea change. That's the sea change I've been waiting for. Let me tell you, I have been in a great mood ever since people been going at Obama's neck. Ooh, I've been waiting for that. Because I used to say, this man is talking down to y'all. Yvette, you don't know. You just hate. You a hater. You a hater. You know you're a hater. You're such a hater. I don't hate nobody, but this man, y'all don't see that this man is talking out the side of his neck to you. Now, we need some tough talk. How come we the only ones that need tough talk? How come y'all only ones that need tough talk? The man said we feed our kids Popeye's chicken. If a white person said that, y'all will tackle them. But this man, you gonna let this man tell you that you feed your kids Popeye's chicken? Oh, maybe, some people don't feed their kid good. I'm happy everybody finally caught on. That's all I can say. Give me a minute, fam, to set up the phones. I'll be back and we can have a little conversation. All right, fam. We are back. We are back. We are back. I'm going to go to my first call. I'm going to go to 301. 301. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Hey, how you doing, Yvette? It's Rashid from PG Country.
What's going on, Rashid? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, pretty good. I was looking at my TV. I got it on mute, so I didn't think you had came back yet. All right, all right. I just wanted to call in. I just wanted to call in and give you your flowers because I called in 8 years ago, 2016, and I was talking to you about how we should run for office, about how we should take control and do all types of stuff. And over these last 8 years, you've given us a political education, and you've taught us that it is more than just trying to take it on to our personal accountability. It's more than just, voting for the party. We need policies. So I just wanted to call in and give you your flowers.
Oh, thank you.
Like the things that you said 8 years ago are now, or I won't say they've just started bearing fruit, but I'll say that the tree stem has gotten thick, and thick tree stems give you strong roots. So I'm going to say thank you because it is insane how so many people were just buying in at first to, Kamala Harris is sister girl. Oh, she's with the AKAs. Oh, she's going to do this, that, and third. And then you've been saying she should have had a black agenda since day one that she joined into Biden's campaign because Biden was so old. And now it's like it's 20 days into election, and now she's like, I got a black agenda. But her black agenda is more of the same old BS where she's telling you how this will help you, but it's a lift all boat policy. So, I'm like, nah, I don't want lift all boat policies. I'm not in the middle class. My boomers have lost their house over these years of hyperinflation, all this stuff. Well, not hyperinflation, but with the cost of living going up so much, like my family's been hitting on hard times. I personally was laid off in June and am now looking to get another job. Yeah, it's been hitting us hard over here. Thankfully, I did a bunch of stuff, that was going to keep me held over, and me and my girl been hunkering down. We're pretty okay. But it's just
gotta get flat.
It's insane how, Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because we've been trying to do a work from home thing because a lot more companies seem to be more willing to hire you for some a little bit better if they ain't got to see you. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's pretty wild over here. But it was crazy to see that these people were trying to give us catch-all policies. And they trying to tell us, she's for you. And it's like, well, how specifically? And then Obama going to come out and act like he's somebody's dad and be like, oh, no, this person grew up like you. No, this person didn't grow up like me. I never went to Canada for schooling and then came back to America when stuff had changed. Like when it's time to go and
you right, fam. But also don't fly in from Martha's Vineyard and tell me what I need to do. Right, don't come. I can see your house. It was on Architectural Digest. Well, I know where you live. Don't come in here telling me we voted for you to do some of this stuff to get us in a better position. You got yourself in a better position, and now you over there. Hey, don't come talk to me about nothing. I don't need to hear from you, Playboy. Like, stay where you at. You and Michelle do y'all with your kids and whatever. I don't need you to come in from Martha's Vineyard. You're not even coming from no thing to really where you was really helping me or doing nothing for my people. Like, leave me alone. But I remember I asked y'all when were they gonna bring them out. I said when they gonna bring out the Clintons and the Obamas, because that's I haven't seen them yet, and they finally brought them out and it backfired. Cause I don't know what Clinton was talking about, y'all. He just done got too old.
I think it's wild that Obama's mom gave him something like $300,000 or $400,000 to go run for office, and so I had to talk to my family. I was like, "When's the last time someone gave you $10,000? When's the last time that somebody just walked up that somebody in your family was like, you know what? Oh, you need to go run. You need to go run for office. You need to go get a job. You need to go get a car."
His grandmom, I think, yeah.
It's just a pile of money for you to just wind in your sails and just fly around. I'm like, nah, that never happened for us. And it's like it's insulting that they keep talking about how they're going to help the middle class.
But here's the other part about that, Colin. Like, you can't compete with people who it happens for them and it don't happen for you. So if you want to go start a business, this person is getting $50,000 from mom, and they're gonna collect $100,000 from here. You're gonna get $100,000 for, and you. How are you competing with that person? Right, because then they're going to also go and get probably some venture capital or whatever. Ain't nobody working with you. People act like the only people who are acting like we can compete with that are people who are lying to sell you flashcards because they need you to believe because that's their sale. That's their sales pitch. The truth is just the truth, though, and that's why we don't have business. It's not because we're lazy or nothing. No, you're undercapitalized, and you also don't have the social cap. You don't have the family, so you don't have the inheritance. Those are the things that you need. So you're right, fam.
Yeah, well, thank you for giving me the time. I'm going to make some way for some other callers. And I just wanted to call in and be like, yeah, thank you, all the things you've been saying. But over the past decade, it's coming to fruition. And I hope more people start actually sharing your videos and actually start, clipping your actual videos so they can show more people what you're talking about. Because you've been right 100%. You ain't.
Hey, fam, I appreciate it.
I hope Toe gets back. I hope he healthy.
I spoke to him. I spoke to him yesterday. He gonna get back.
We giving good vibes and love over here. All right, fam.
I appreciate you. You have a good one. Bye-bye. Going now to 347. 347, what's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Yvette.
What's up?
Girl, how you doing?
I'm good, girl. Good.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm not really on topic. I caught you at the end. I wanted to tell you that the conference was the best thing I've did in a very, very long time. Y'all did that down. You and your staff, you were so humble, so meek, and so wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And I had the time and education of my life.
we listen. I just want to take this time out to shout out to people who would, the people in the ADOS Advocacy Foundation, the ADOS Research Institute, and the ADOS Empowerment Project, because we unveiled the ADOS Research Institute while we were there as well, and they're researching. Their job is to research, the stuff that we haven't had research, and so we have PhDs, master's degrees, people with their job is to research the stuff that we don't get to research in terms of ADOS. So I want to thank everybody who was there, because one thing I keep telling people, listen, and the reason we're asking for money for this reparations push is that nobody who was there, all the people you saw who were there working, nobody was getting a check. Those people have jobs, right? This is all volunteer. And man.
Listen, it was amazing. All of the staff was sweet, humble, helping. The love that was in that building, remarkable. Remarkable. Y'all did an excellent job. I can't wait for the next one. Honey, you was taking those pictures. that Carnell West, I got a picture with him. I got a picture with you. Nina was in the building. I mean, if you missed it and you hear these words, it's okay. There's going to be another one. Let's put our donations and our money where it belongs at ADOS and keep this movement going. Because we got it going, but we got to keep it going.
We do.
So
and
always in my prayers, Queen.
Thank you, fam. Thank you, fam.
You.
I appreciate you.
I didn't get a chance to give you your flowers there, honey, because my spirit wasn't right because I couldn't get them flowers to you.
It's the thought. And listen, it's the thought that counts. And let me just say, like, one of the things that I like to stress to people is that we should all be servants of each other, right? It shouldn't be like Yvette is this or this person is this, or because we had Dr. Tito Izard who was talking about health and ADOS outcomes over there. We had Mr. McPherson who was talking about his book Life After Race. We had genealogists over there the next day. We had our own Terrence who was talking about activism. We had so much stuff going on. The breakout day, we had the keynote day, we had the day before that. Like, we had 3 days of conference where everybody got fed, and everybody was taken care of. Like, we have to be servants of each other. And if there's one thing that I want everybody to take away from this conference, after this, don't go and be a part of things where the people don't love you enough to make sure you're taken care of and educated and you have a good experience. Don't go there. Like, that's not love. Those people do not love you. If that's the way you're treated when you go to somebody's conference or summit or whatever, that's not for you. So I hope we set a standard. So,
Well, listen, in the genealogy
Cosby class, honey, he had me calling my uncle. I ain't seen him, and I need to know who my great. Honey, I was in the conference just texting. I need this number. I need that number. I need to know my great grandmother, honey. I was on it in the front, getting my lessons, and like I said, the food was excellent. The staff was excellent. Shout out to all the people who put this together, honey. They loved you down in New Orleans. Like I said, if you missed it, it's okay. The next one, come on now, honey.
I was just happy the food was good, because you can keep my people in the room if the food is good, but the food ain't good, they gonna go find something. But we had the local reparations people in the room who were doing that. We had economists. Shout out to Mr. McMillan, who was an economist who came down on very short notice. Like we had Dr. Cosby. We had Reverend Campbell on the keynote. Like we brought all these people in. Like and it's just us being of service to you. And I think we have to get back to community where we are of service to one another and not in competition with each other. We are in collaboration with each other and in service to one another. Well, that's Yvette. No. I'm your sister. I'm your auntie. I'm your cousin, your mama, your daughter, depending on how old you are. That's who I am. So I think we have to get back into that mindset of being in service to each other. And I hope we set a standard for that for y'all.
Oh, you did the standard, honey. The standard was high power. The standard was in the house. It was professional. It was knowledgeable. It was love in the building. And I was so grateful to be a part of something that's amazing. When I got back, I've been putting the word out, ready to do this work, educate people. I missed the advocacy class because let me tell you something. I need that class because some folks I don't talk to that look like me done told me something about we don't deserve reparations. And so I said, love and kindness is how you draw them. Well, honey, we drawing them. We switching minds, touching hearts.
Well, yeah, and we will, and I think one of the things we have to learn too is the difference between convincing somebody of something and influencing them in something. And I think that has to be a class as well at some point. About how to do that. Like, but we're gonna get to all of it. We're gonna get to all of it. It was just we have to. I missed a lot of the food. I got some of it, but I saw pictures of stuff. I saw pictures of stuff I didn't get the chance to eat. so
you missed that fish. You missed that string.
No, I got the no. I got the fish. I did not. I got the fried fish. I didn't get the warm pretzels. I don't really eat beef.
Did you get that fried okra?
I did get the fried okra. I did not get. Somebody had some brisket. I don't really eat beef, but so that's fine. But I didn't get any of the breakfast. So but listen, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, listen, sis, I just want to say I love you like
love you too.
Kudos to the staff and you. You keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna lift you up and cover you in prayer as
Appreciate
always.
You.
And the movement is moving.
That's it.
With the movement.
That's it, fam. That's it. I appreciate you.
Yourself a wonderful
you
night.
too. You too. Have a good one. Bye bye. Yeah, I didn't get no shrimp and grits either. so no, I didn't get breakfast any of the time breakfast was made. So I didn't expect that. I did get the fish and that salad had a nice little vinaigrette. And there would I don't know if we had a lot of desserts too in the staff room, so that was good. I don't really eat desserts, but I did this time. 803, what's your name? Where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Hi, this is Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie, what's going on with you?
Hi. So, I've been listening to you for a couple of years now, and you always bring up some really good points.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you, well, first I wanted to make a comment about President Obama's position on Black men coming out to vote, and specifically coming out to vote for VP Kamala Harris. And it reminds me of a comment, famous comment that Bill Cosby made some years back about young Black men needing to pull up their pants and essentially pull themselves up by the bootstrap. And while I think Bill Cosby has gotten enough flack for that, it was surprising that President Obama came out and made the comment that he made. And I understand your position about Kamala Harris not, or the expectation should not be that Black men will automatically vote for her.
Mm-hmm.
What would be the alternative to a VP Kamala Harris ticket? I understand that everyone should have autonomy. Everyone should exercise their right to vote however they choose. But in your opinion, at this stage in the game, we don't have a lot of options, right? That would benefit Black people. So what would be?
Well, here's the thing. I have to be careful because I'm not making any recommendations this year. So like I'm not in the ADOS Advocacy Foundation. We're not making any recommendations for who to vote for, right, and who not to vote for. The only thing that I'm really speaking to is the limitations of the candidacy. If Kamala Harris and everybody really looked at this, they would see this as me actually giving them the cheat code to win. I've said that from the entire time. I've said that since before she was the candidate. I've said that when Joe Biden was the candidate. And I actually told them to go and look at the ADOS Foundation's platform. And I said at one point I would help Biden figure out what this platform needs to be, because I don't really care. I want to figure, because I want to get the agenda to people. But I think to my people, right? But I think if the agenda isn't there, we have a problem. So the thing that we have to ask ourselves is, are we going to vote third party? Are you going to vote for Kamala Harris and hope that it's not another Obama administration, even though you don't have any reason to hope for that? Are you going to vote for Trump, which is maybe for you on immigration, but you remember his tax cut drove all the money to the top. We didn't get anything. Are you going to do something like that? Or are you looking beyond this election? That's the key question for me. Because I do believe that what ADOS, people will say, well, if you don't vote for Kamala, it's gonna be bad. That's possible, right? That is possible. That is absolutely possible. But the other question becomes, if Kamala Harris does lose, and it's too close to call, but if she does lose and the Democratic Party says she lost because we couldn't get the Black vote, does that then cause them to show up for our votes in a way that they have not shown before? So the question isn't just about the next 4 years. The question is about what impact this election has well after this 4 years. Does this election and what we decide to do or not do lead to some kind of realignment? Does it lead to them chasing us the same way they chase white working class voters now, the same way they chase white women, the same way that they chase Latino voters, the same way that they chase Asian voters? Will we get chased, right? So I think there's a bigger question than, what do we have to lose in this election? We always have a lot to lose. But I think there's a bigger question in, okay, what does this election set the stage for in the next election after that and the next election after that? Because it is time for a realignment. We realigned with the Democratic Party and we haven't looked back, but we haven't gotten what we need from this party.
And I definitely agree with those points. And I also just want to make one last comment.
Sure.
I've seen some of the ads that have been put out about Jill Stein. And I think it's unfortunate because I like some of her, some of what she is proposing. And I also like Marianne Williamson, of course, definitely Carnell was.
Mm-hmm.
And those individuals don't have a big enough base. They definitely don't have the funding to build their brand. But do you also think that those types of candidates will at some point be able to align themselves with a bigger Democratic Party ticket, or are we beyond that? And I'm just, again, thinking about the attack ads on Jill Stein, for example. Is there room for an alternative viewpoint within the Democratic Party? Do you think so or not?
Well, I mean, I think that's the Democratic Party's decision, but I think a lot of that will have to do with turnout, right? Because even if you don't have to ever talk to Jill Stein to adopt some of her to adopt some of her policies. You should talk to Dr. Carnell West, but you don't have to talk to him to adopt a lot of what he's talking about and what he stands for. So the question becomes, is this election, or will this election be enough to move Democrats in a direction of what a lot of people who naturally align with the party want, but don't see it coming out of Democrats? So that's going to be the key question, not whether they align with those politicians specifically, but whether or not they align with some of those policies. Will some of the money start to stay here instead of going overseas into different places? Like that's part of the question too. So because we can't do a lot of the stuff we want to do if they keep funding adventures abroad like this. So the question becomes, are Democrats going to align, and what does it with some of those policies that are popular with Cornel West or Stein, and what does that take? Does it take them losing an election? Does it take them losing the vote, the ADOS vote? What does it take? So, but that'll be ultimately their decision. And our decision as well.
Well, let's hope it doesn't get to that point. But if it does, then we'll have to wait another 4 years to get ourselves realigned, as you say.
All right. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Yeah, I mean, it is. 617-617, what's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
Dr. Carnell, greetings.
Hey, what's going on, fam? How you doing?
Good to hear from you. I'm a long time, first time here.
Okay.
And I've been watching the show for years. First time I called.
Okay.
And I just, and I would just say, just before I want to preface it, you do great work. I enjoy your show. I like you because you're empirical, and it creates an argument that's clear and cogent. And I like the way you put together the Chat GPT tonight in your presentation. I'm a college professor myself. I'm an English professor.
Okay.
And in my composition classes, we use Chat GPT to help them write papers. You basically taught a class on how to use ChatGPT to write a paper. To build a
you can use ChatGPT to write policy. Who knew it?
Total class. You could have taught my class. So it was awesome how you did that using technology, and I was yelling out loud. I was listening to you and saying, "Oh my God, a robot did it better than Kamala." And I'm hearing the proposals, the land grants, and just what the computer came up with was pretty much on target. And if we got a third of that in policy, it would really, help us. And what you said about having people in the community, people academics who work in those lines of housing and stuff to help with campaigns. But I just thought that was great. But I called to say that, I think, your last caller, she was scared, she was trembling, she just I don't think a lot of these Obama voters are really with your message there. They have a tough time sort of, living with the alternative. They scared, they're so scared, and they just worry that, the sky's gonna fall, and it's crazy to hear them kind of process the reality that maybe Kamala's not a good candidate. Maybe she's a horrible candidate, and you're running her, and she's not ready for prime time. And she wasn't ready for prime time in 2019. She wasn't ready. I mean, it was obvious. And you talked about that back then, how she lifted the graphics and the color design from the campaign from who was the first black woman from Brooklyn. She ran for president, Shirley Chisholm. Mm-hmm. You did a show on that, remember? She did the same color scheme in her 2019-2020 campaign that came from that. And you showed that. I was like, yeah, she was totally riding Black America to the top. That's been her thing. And it's tough to see. And it's hard to see that so many, Black folks just don't see through it. They don't see through it. And the words she used, the church comment, I mean, the list goes on with her. And it's so obvious that I don't want to be cliche, but she ain't us. It's so clear. And, I've got a dozen AKAs in my family, my mom, my aunts, and it's hard to break through. It's hard to break through. I'm talking to my boys, and they're just diehard. They're diehard, and I try to introduce them to stuff, and you can ask some of them, they're academics too, and they're with you, but it's tough cracking through it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for Black Camelot Part 2. That's what they're looking for.
I don't know.
It's as if they can't get beyond just the imagery. The imagery is what they're looking for. They want to feel good. Everybody want to feel good. And I like the way you break it down. It ain't hard.
Well, I think but let me just say this. I understand why people are upset. Like, I understand why people are scared. But I think we have to figure out, like, how do we get out of this lesser of two evils paradigm? Like, this lesser of two evil stuff is killing us, because you just have to pick your poison, and poison isn't good for you, right? Regardless. So I think that kind of becomes the key for me, is that there's this kind of political arrangement that our people signed up for, that is not good politics for us to just be like, well, you're not as bad. You're not as bad as this person. That never gets us to good. That never gets us to like true liberation. That never gets us to real redress. That never gets us to real justice. That just keeps the wolves right outside the tent, right? And we still in the tent. That's just not good enough. And we have to figure out what we're willing to do and what we're willing to sacrifice to get to that point. I would have loved if Kamala and everybody had heard us long ago, right? And decided, but they don't. And there really and truthfully, there weren't enough of us. It's just like me and y'all and we screaming, but now it's caught on. Now this whole, the way we've been talking has caught fire. And now they have to deal with all of it. You can't just, no, I see my words all over the Twitter and internet now. So you have to deal with our way of thinking and our way of doing politics, even if you don't have to deal with Yvette, even if you don't have to deal with ADOS, because I'm talking about ADOS in terms of the movement, because the cat's out of the bag. Like, you can't put this back up, and you got to deal now, and we all have to deal.
Look, Yvette, it's like I want two things. I'm gonna let you go. You use the word realignment, and you look at things historically, and we have to understand that there was once upon a time Black people voted Republican all the time. My grandfather was a Reagan Black. He voted for Reagan because my grandfather voted for Republican.
Yeah, pre Goldwater, right? Goldwater. Go read about Goldwater. That's a whole nother thing. But go ahead, fam.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that there's been realignments in the Black vote historically, and it's not like it. Yeah, it's going to be painful. That's the point. That you have to use the word sacrifice. That maybe we have to eat it a little bit and let Trump, do his thing and just deal with it to get the politics to move towards our side, to get them to see our end, and to get something for our vote, what you were saying. And I think there needs to be some sort of way to get these people to see what a realignment can offer you, Black folks. It can offer you something. And you've been saying it. Last thing, Yvette, before I let you go, listen up. So, and I don't want to present myself that way, but, I was a big Bernie bro from 2016, Occupy Bernie bro, and I thought he could have been the guy that really switched it around a little bit, and they gave him the two-card shuffle. You saw all that happen, and I don't know, you weren't on board with Bernie.
No, I was. No, I was on board with Bernie for a little while. I was on board with Bernie over Hillary. See, if the choice, we talking about Bernie and Hillary, I'm going to choose Bernie. Right? But the thing that turned me off with Bernie is that every time, at first I was like, well, he doesn't understand reparations, right? Because we all came to it how we came to it. But after he kept going around and saying like, no, it was like, okay, this is a problem. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't keep going around and saying, we're going to do all this. We're going to do everything that everybody's ever wanted on the left. But the one thing that we can't do is reparations. You can't keep saying it. So at a certain point, you have to back away.
He was hard-headed about it.
Yeah.
He was very hard-headed. I thought it hurt. But my point is this. I think we do need to have a big dollop of some class politics. I don't think you really put things to a Marxist prism. I know you ain't an ideologue and stuff, but I think we need to add some Marxism to it. We need some revolutionary Marxism.
Listen, here's what I told somebody, and I end on this. I told somebody said, should Black immigrants get reparations? It'll be good for the economy. And I said, listen, you have poor white people. They don't have the extreme poverty that we have. ADOS poverty is different from white poverty. But you have, to the extent, you have people in Appalachia who are white who need. I do believe that the floor in America needs to be raised. right? That is when we start talking about leftist policy. That's when we talking about those sorts of things. I am in favor of that. What I have always said, though, is that's not a substitute or replacement for reparations. That's a different policy that I'm in favor of, but it is not something that should be used to see like this is in place of one thing or the other. So I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of something that where you shouldn't be able to fall into homelessness or whatever in America because you don't have a job. People should be paid more, right? All of these things should happen. I just believe that they are separate from reparations. Reparations is a sacred justice claim. But I believe a lot of the stuff that people talk about in terms of how we live below where other first world countries live, yeah, that's a problem. It's just not the same thing as what we deal with in terms of redress.
And you use the word redistributive. I'm not saying the word.
Redistribution of what? Yeah.
Yes, that word is kind of played in play. And, we've got figures in our history, Paul Robeson, Stokely Carmichael, and, who really pushed, the ideas of Marxist Park, that we have to kind of see things in a class lens to adjust our policy, adjust our voting, and have more radical look at politics. And I think it would, I know you don't ride that boat, but I'm putting that out there.
Appreciate it. No, I appreciate you. Thank you for putting it out there.
I appreciate you do. Everything you do. Keep it going.
Appreciate it. Thanks, fam. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. Like, people can always bring that to the negotiating table. That way, we ain't gonna get nothing. No, you can get something too. It's just not what we get. Like, there should be programs in place where, there should be all kinds of programs in place to make the standard of living higher in America. But like, that's not reparations, and you're not going to get a cash payment. That's not the same thing. You can still, there's still stuff that you can have, though. But anyway, fam, I'm going to leave it at that. If you are a caller, I apologize. I got to get out of here. It's 11 o'clock. I don't want to have everybody on too long today, so that's going to be my last call, fam. I appreciate you. I still got some callers out there, so I appreciate y'all. But that's going to be the last call for right now. I'm trying to not to keep everybody up so late as much as I do. I was trying to get started at like 9 o'clock. Oh, it's a stupid thing. But anyway, and it was 9:15 and I put it at 9:30. It was just goofy at a certain point. Just goofy. But anyway, fam, I'm going to let y'all get some rest and just think about it. I think that's something that we don't think enough about. Like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want? What do you want, like, these next 4, 8, 12, 16 years to look like? Because this stuff goes by fast. Whoever gets elected, we spent 8 years with Obama. That's 2 years away from a decade. Like, think about what you want these years to look like and what you're willing to do to get these years, right? And get these years to look like what you need to look like. And we don't need we need to be able to pressure people. Politicians respond to pressure, not applause. We got to get the pressure in place. Everybody's trying to run for office. Yeah, but we have to have a mechanism and a movement in place that pressures those people. So if you haven't gone to joinados.com, please do that. And listen, I will see y'all next time. If you're on Patreon, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I will see y'all. I'll see you what's the day? Wednesday? I'll see you Wednesday next week. All right. Bye. Bye, fam.